You've never once fallen for someone who was already okay. Think about it. Somewhere, deep down, you were drawn to the ones who were struggling, the ones with the sad eyes, the ones who said, "No one gets me." And you thought, "I do." That wasn't love at first sight. That was something else entirely. You meet someone, and almost instantly, you notice the cracks in them before you notice anything else. The way they talk about their childhood like it's a wound they never closed. The way they say, "I'm fine," but their hands are shaking. The way they seem lost. Brilliant, but lost. And something in you lights up. Not because you feel sorry for them, because you feel needed. You start showing up. You start listening for hours. You start believing that if you just love them hard enough, patiently enough, consistently enough, they'll finally heal. And somehow, in your mind, that healing will prove something. Not about them, about you. You tell your friends, "I just see the good in people." You tell yourself, "I don't give up on people." But quietly, underneath all of that, there's a pattern you've repeated more than once. Maybe more than you'd like to admit. You keep choosing people who need fixing, and you never ask why. Here's the part nobody tells you. This isn't really about them at all. It's about a role you learnt to play a long time ago, usually before you even had the words for it. Somewhere in your early life, love wasn't something that was simply given to you. It was something you had to earn. Maybe a parent was distracted, or overwhelmed, or emotionally unavailable in a way no one talked about. Maybe you learned, quietly, without anyone saying it out loud, that being needed felt safer than being wanted. Think about the difference between those two words. Needed. Wanted. Being wanted requires nothing from you. Someone just likes you, as you are. No performance required. But being needed? That you can control. You can earn that. You can work for that. If someone needs you to fix them, save them, complete them, then you have a guaranteed reason to stay in the room. So your brain, very early on, made a trade. It swapped the terrifying uncertainty of, will they love me for no reason, for the much safer feeling of they need me, so they can't leave. That's the switch. That's the whole mechanism. And here's the twist your brain never tells you. You don't consciously go looking for broken people. You don't wake up and think, today I will find someone to fix. It happens instantly, on a level below thought. Within seconds of meeting someone, your nervous system is already scanning for one specific signal. Do they need me? If the answer is yes, something inside you relaxes. Not because you're a rescuer at heart, because a yes to that question means the relationship has a job description. And you have always felt safer with a job description than with just being loved. This is why healthy people can sometimes feel boring to you. Not because they're actually boring, but because your nervous system doesn't know what to do with someone who doesn't need saving. There's no task, no project, no proof required. And without a task, some part of you doesn't know how to feel useful in love. So you keep choosing the ones with the cracks, not out of weakness, out of a very old survival strategy that once made total sense. Here's the part that will sit with you for a while. The person you're trying to fix isn't actually a stranger to you. They're a stand-in. Somewhere in your mind, without ever naming it, you are trying to fix an old version of someone else. A parent, a sibling, an earlier version of a household that never got resolved. And every time you meet someone broken and think, I can help this one, you are quietly replaying an old scene, hoping that this time the ending changes. This time, if you just try hard enough, the person won't leave. This time, if you just love hard enough, the pain will finally make sense. This time, if you fix them, you'll finally get to rest. But here's the cruel part of this pattern. It's designed never to finish. Because if you actually succeeded, if the person you rescued became fully healed, fully whole, fully okay on their own, you wouldn't feel relief. You'd feel unemployed. Because your role, the thing that made you feel valuable in the relationship, was the fixing itself, not the peace on the other side of it. This is why some rescuers unconsciously keep choosing partners who almost heal, but never quite do. Why the relationship stays in that specific temperature. Just enough progress to keep hope alive, never enough resolution to make you unnecessary. You're not addicted to broken people. You're addicted to being the answer. And there's one more layer under that. Somewhere inside, rescuing someone else lets you avoid rescuing yourself. It's much easier to spend years decoding someone else's pain than to sit quietly with your own. Fixing them becomes a beautifully disguised way of avoiding you. That's the real reason the pattern repeats. It was never really about them. It was about which pain felt safer to face. Real love, the boring, steady, undramatic kind, doesn't need a task to justify it. It doesn't require a broken person to make you feel essential. It doesn't need a rescue mission to prove it's real. It's the strange kind of love that just stays, without a project, without a wound to manage. And that kind of love can feel unfamiliar at first, almost uncomfortable. Like standing in a room with nothing to fix and not knowing what to do with your hands. But that discomfort isn't a sign something is missing. It's a sign you're finally somewhere safe enough to stop performing. You were never meant to fix your way into being loved. You were just meant to be loved.